Tonight, Seattle's mayoral hopefuls went head-to-head debating the city's most pressing issues. And there were moments of tension between those exchanges.
The mayor's proposal that I heard from his office in the Seattle Times article is basically, well, let's just wait till rents in the private market go up again, and then people will go into these units again.
I have a different question for you, but if you would like to respond.
My opponent's all over the map on housing policy. She just said at the other forum that the problem is the production of housing did not keep up with the demand. And I would actually agree with that. Under our administration, we've actually built 50,000 units.
November is right around the corner, so do voters believe Mayor Harrell can keep Seattle moving in the right direction, or is Katie Wilson the one to deliver the change they are looking for? I'm joined now by our political analyst, Ron Dotzauer. Ron, you watched tonight's debate. What was your takeaway?
Well, first off, the rule of thumb for all debates, all political debates, presidential or city council or mayoral races, do no harm, okay? Yeah. And so you don't want to be bulletin board material the next day if you misstepped or misspoke. And so I thought tonight that, that the mayor actually shown himself very well. Okay. I thought he won this debate, which is hard to usually get somebody that you can declare a winner, in part because he looked very knowledgeable, and his experience just shone forth in terms of his knowledge and the substance of the issues. She was a little sketchy at times when she was asked the questions about what happens to a natural disaster. And she says, well, we start making phone calls. I'm going, well, wait a minute. You better have a better plan than making phone calls. And then a couple of other things that she said that were like, you know, I think sort of out of step with Seattle, like having grocery stores being run by the city/government. I don't think it's a very good idea, and I don't think the voters like that idea. Then I'm not sure the voters are ready for, you know, she said she supported legal prostitution. Right. I'm not sure that she should have gone there. But again, at the end of the day, I don't know how much sometimes these debates matter. But if this debate mattered, the mayor won. Yeah. So it's such, to your point, I mean, she kind of set herself apart from Harrell on the prostitution aspect and some of the other ideas like the grocery store, but they seem to be on the same page about the care team, B&O tax, and all the other things that are already in place. Yes. So how do these two really set themselves apart if they're somewhat similar? Is it just experience, as Mayor Harrell says? Well, I think it is. And then the voters got to make the ultimate decision. So there's somebody, you know, we want to, you know, somebody we know and who's been, you know, I think by and large done a doggone reasonable good job. Now, she is a very competitive individual, and she did well in the primary. And so in some respects, I mean, the other little misstep I thought that she made was she sounded like she was already measuring the curtains in the mayor's office. Right. And she says, well, I've got, right after the primary, I put a transition team in place. It's like, ooh, that's a little presumptive. But maybe she'll end up being right. I don't know. But I think it's going to be a close race at the end of the day. I don't think she's going to run away with it like maybe she thought she was going to after the primary. There's a lot of factors that go into that, Steve. Yeah. Things like double the turnout changes the constituency. It's a very liberal primary voter, a little more moderate, not conservative, but moderate in the general. And ideologically, they are not kindred spirits. Right. Okay? Right. You know, and so that distinction, I thought, came through pretty strong tonight as well. One of the things, too, and you brought this up, was, you know, and she mentioned it and talked about it and boasted about it in the debate, that she had such a commanding win in the primary election. Yes. But that really doesn't, and a lot of people also thought, well, that just means she's going to run away with it in November. But as you said, things will be quite different next month. But they're different because you probably have double the turnout. Right. That changes the constituency, number one. Number two, I'm not sure about this, but I'm thinking that maybe the mayor took her a little too lightly in the primary and probably didn't run the kind of campaign he's running now. The other thing that he's got that she doesn't have is he has $1 million in an independent expenditure. She has about 80,000. You know, it's not even
much
close.
Smaller.
And so money matters in elections. So all that's to say is that it's a little too early to predict the winner. You always get in trouble doing that anyway. Right. And so I think it's going to be pretty close. But he had a good night, okay? And to see if he can kind of grow with that and use some of the things, maybe some of the miscues that we heard tonight, in my opinion, will he take advantage of those things?
Yeah, they've done a number of these debates. I want to ask you, because you've done this quite a while.
Thanks for telling everybody how long I've been doing this. A long time, folks.
When you do a number, like a long list of debates like this, does that really help the voters at that point? Is something like their fifth or sixth debate going to change someone's mind?
Unlikely.
Okay.
Now, here's the other thing that I found, both with public forums or debates, wherever, the people that show up for these things, debates, they've already made up their minds. They're actually supporters of one candidate versus the other. Okay, there's no one really. Very rarely is there undecided voters, particularly at public forums. Very rarely. So, not that they shouldn't be held, because they do bring out, some of the things that came out tonight in the conversation will be good to be discussed on future activities, and you'll probably see some of this in TV spots, and who knows how it's all going to crop up. Digital advertising, email advertising, television advertising, all over the place. So we'll see what they do with this. I don't know if they have any more they have of these side-by-sides, but usually they start to cut those off about 30 days out, because they all want to focus on, okay, I'm going to get my message. I got 30 days to go. I'm going to run like heck and spend like heck and see what happens on election night.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ron, thank you always for your insights. Very, very helpful.
My pleasure. Good to see you.
If you want to watch the debate in full, you can find the whole thing online at KOMOnews.com. You could also scan the QR code here on your screen. It'll take you directly to that video. If you'd rather just watch it on TV, we will re-air it for you in its entirety on our sister station, KOMO News, this Saturday. You can tune in at 9 p.m.